we're answering questions that you guys have asked me. Let's do it. Okay, so a few days ago, I sent out a tweet and probably annoyed a lot of people because I sent it multiple times, but basically was just saying if you had any questions really about anything, you could hit me up on Twitter or really any other way. And yeah, so I have a couple and we'll do that, and that'll kind of be the vlog now just because we have such a long time until the next game that we're just going to be doing practices and stuff. So here we go, answering your questions. I'm going to go ahead and just apologize. I'm going to read your Twitter handle name, and if I can't do it correctly, I'm sorry. I'm bad with words, real bad. All right, first up, from Jor Henry, says, how much freedom do you have to move around an empty rink in the bubble to shoot? None, sort of. And I can explain. So there's a lot of safety measures, obviously, that are being taken into consideration and that are being put out here in the bubble to keep everybody safe. That includes athletes, that includes people like us, the staff in the arena, all of that. And also because since there's nobody in the stadium and those tarps are there and the ads are in certain places, we can't just be like moving around all over the place. For content creators, the side that we sit on can be seen on broadcast. So basically, they tell us to wear dark clothes and they tell us to, sit down, just so that way we're not, sticking out like a sore thumb. NHL Productions has their own area. NHL Social has their own area. We have our own area and Getty has theirs, and it just kind of works that way. Although the best part about all of this is that I don't have to worry about fans complaining that I'm, taking up their sideline. It happens quite a bit. STB Visuals asks, what's it like having a terrible Fortnite player above in your room? It's awful, and now it's Warzone, but I guess they're getting better because it's been quiet. Or they've maybe been eliminated, who knows? More serious, what's your media storage situation like, and how has your workflow changed? Workflow hasn't really changed too bad, at least the way that we kind of have it set up at home, and then here we have folders that go for our projects, video, graphics, export, audio, all that stuff. And just so eventually there's going to be a time when we're going to be back at home and I'm going to have to put those all on the main server. And so you want to keep that same workflow so that way you don't wind up, completely ruining the workflow of that server, because we use a program to search for that stuff. And so the last thing you want to do is come here and then decide to make your own completely new workflow. Yeah, not a good idea. And then as far as storage situation, I have either 5 or 6 terabyte external drive with me. That's kind of like the home base here. I brought 2 computers. One of them is my personal gaming computer, and it can also kind of handle some more beefier stuff. And then I also have the work computer. The work computer goes with me everywhere. The other computer kind of stays here, kind of like a PC, even though it's a laptop. That has the larger drive, and most of the work, bulk work at least, is done on that. And then I have a 1 terabyte smaller portable drive that I'll take to the arena, just so that way I'm not throwing all this footage on the work laptop and not being able to transfer it over when we get back to the room at night. Hopefully that wasn't too complicated, and hopefully that answered your question. Sparkle Shorty asks, how weird is it with the empty building? Any limitations on where you can and can't go? Kind of like what I said earlier, there are limitations on where we can and can't go. Basically, I'm gonna be either at my spot in the locker room or outside of the locker room to get content. As far as it being empty, I think it was the weirdest during the exhibition, just because no one kind of knew what we were getting into or anything like that. Now it's honestly just 3 games in. Now it's just kind of like business as normal. You kind of just get in your routine. And so now an empty arena really isn't as weird as it was at first. I mean, it's going to be weird always, but now I guess everyone is just more so used to it, and yeah, play just kind of continues. H. Handorf says, does the media team get access to the same bubble amenities as the players? Yeah, everybody kind of gets the same access as far as the bubble. We can all eat at the same places, go work out sort of at the same places. Every team has their own private workout area, but then we have a gym at Hotel X and then a gym at this hotel as well. And we can go there in certain times. But yeah, we can pretty much do anything that the players can do for the most part as far as the access to those things. It's not uncommon to go somewhere and grab lunch or eat dinner and there's hockey players all around. Stephen Riley 99 says, as a content creator, how does your average workday go? Well, I wake up in the morning and I cry a lot, and then that's pretty much it. No, but in all seriousness, if we're talking in the bubble, the average workday is pretty similar, honestly, to working an away game. It's just instead of a flight after the game, you come right back here. And the next day, if you're not playing, you're basically just kind of working from home like you have been for the past few months, which is still pretty weird, but I mean, it is what it is. ASMarks18 asks a couple of questions. How's the food choices? Good, diverse. I get Tim Hortons for free every day, so by that definition, the food's great. What do you miss most about the outside world? I haven't really had time to think about that other than just the liberty to be able to like get in a car and drive around. The one bad thing about like being in the bubble in Toronto is that this is one of my favorite Canadian cities and I can just basically watch it from my window or from the fence line or from Scotia or from Hotel X. I can't actually go to all the local restaurants and local places that I really love here. How many times do you have to be tested? Every single day. You know, I'm not gonna try to even complain about that because there's people that have never been tested or don't have access to tests. So I'm not even gonna complain about that. I'm fortunate that the fact that, you know, I can be tested every day and know my situation, especially in this weird time. And lastly, he asks, are there any special positive or negatives about being in a hotel room at the bubble as opposed to your hotel rooms in the regular season? It feels the same until you realize that like you can't leave the whole bubble. But like if we had like one day road games, we would normally get to the hotel like late at night because we'd leave after a game, and you kind of spend most of that next day just chilling in the hotel, just trying to rest up. You're just doing that every day here. Prospags asks, what are non-players doing to starve off boredom? So non-players, we're kind of, we're working out at Hotel X, staying in our rooms and reading or playing video games or, just kind of hanging out or honestly just hanging out with like other media people. We basically have access to the same things that the players do. And then to follow up, like our players allowed to mingle between teams. Yeah, of course. I mean, players have friends on other teams and they hang out just kind of like how I said with media people. So my boss kind of put it best and said it's basically just a summer camp with a bunch of hockey in it. Did the Canes win? Yes. Main editing software. Main editing software is Premiere through all the bugs, the crashes, the what the hell's Premiere, and then I'll dynamic link it to After Effects if I want to get spicy with certain things. So Claiborne W asks, what kind of music are you listening to in the bubble? Definitely not Hidden Regalia. A little shout out for you, buddy. Nah, but in all honesty, I'm pretty much listening to anything. It just kind of depends on the mood. If I'm, up late at night editing, I just kind of want some chill beats, or if I'm, waking up in the morning, I want something to wake me up, or if it's a game day, I honestly just play a lot of rap because that's just how weird of a person I am. From G Degadeo 919. Where do you see hockey life after this postseason? Any major successes, failures behind the scenes so far? And of course, what can I share? And how are game days different? Honestly, game days are not different. It is the same thing. It is the same routine. There's just no crowd. That's kind of the biggest thing. As far as hockey life after this season, I'm just not too sure. We're going to have to kind of wait and see. And then honestly, a major success for at least behind the scenes is just how seriously the NHL is taking this as far as cleaning and disinfecting. Locker rooms, the benches, the penalty boxes, all that stuff is disinfected between games. They do a great job doing that. I think NHL put out a feature on that if you want to go check it out. It's pretty good. That's probably the best thing for sure. Just like how smooth and great this has gone. Dustin85 asks, how did you get into sports and media content and how did you end up with the Canes? That's a super long story, probably for a different time. Basically, just to kind of summarize it, I got into it just because I started doing freelance photography at Texas Tech, networked through there, eventually got a job at Texas Tech Athletics doing video work, and then was around some really good people that pushed me and I pushed them to get better and better. And then as far as the Canes, I saw that they were hiring and I was able to talk to my now boss and we hit it off, and I hit it off with everybody else in the department. Liked the culture before I even got there. Here I am, almost 2 years later, and it has been a very, very interesting 2 years, from storm surges to the playoff drought ending to an emergency backup goalie, and now no fans in the games, and we're in a hub city in Toronto in August. K-Derp asks, how do you go about learning new video transition styles? Is it just trying to mimic other things you see, or is it purely playing around? There's kind of two answers to this question. The first being both of those. You do see something to get inspiration, and then you can also just kind of mess around and, you know, figure something out. But at the same time, not to start a debate at all, but you don't need like all these flashy transitions and that weird, crazy film overlay and like all that stuff. And like I'm sitting here acting like I haven't done it before, and I have. But sometimes just clean transitions, clean cuts can really tell a good story. What should be the most important thing is the footage should tell the story, and then if you want to have fun with it afterwards, go for it. But sometimes if it looks good, just, you know, nice, crisp, and clean, just run with that. There's no need to put a bunch of layers on it. And then from Wesley Yarbs, are you in a separate media bubble, or do you find yourself walking around and running into other teams' players, etc.? Pretty much have answered this question. A lot of y'all have kind of asked that. We're all in this together. We run into different teams. We run into our teammates, other media people, other creatives. We're in a bubble, so we're all kind of in here together. All right, so hopefully that kind of answered some questions for you guys. Hopefully it was not super boring, because I'm just kind of sitting here and lecturing you guys. And honestly, I've had to read through all of these and take multiple takes because I can't talk that well. And now that that's done, we'll see kind of where this next vlog episode goes, just because not much is really happening this coming week except for a bunch of practices. And by the time that I'm making this, we still don't know who we're playing. As usual, follow the Canes, follow me, follow whoever you want. Honestly, I'm not gonna tell you what to do. But hopefully you enjoyed this little Q&A, and I will probably see you guys on the next video. So, peace.